Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to study fundamentals and application of AVR microcontroller. So let's start with introduction to AVR microcontroller. So what is AVR? It stands for Advanced Virtual RISC or ALF record RISC, which is a name of AVR designer. Okay, ALF and record. So RISC is nothing but a reduced instruction set computer. So sometimes it is also called as Advanced Virtual RISC or ALF record RISC. Okay, so reduced instruction set computer. So it is a type of architecture which is having less or highly optimized instruction set as compared to complex instruction set computer. Next, this architecture of AVR was developed by Alf Egil Bogen and Vekot Bolan. So this is the initials of this Alf and Vekot, name of AVR designer. So they have developed architecture of AVR. Then AVR is a family of microcontrollers developed since 1996 by Atmel, acquired by Microchip Technology in 2016. These are modified Harvard architecture, 8-bit RISC, single chip microcontrollers. Then AVR was one of the first microcontroller families to use on-chip flash memory for program storage as opposed to one-time programmable ROM, EEPROM or E2PROM used by other microcontroller at the time. So it is having the flash memory for program storage. Comparison between 8051 PIC and AVR microcontroller. So first we'll see the speed. So the in speed 8051 is slow, then PIC is moderate, and the AVR is fast. So the speed of AVR microcontroller is fast. Then memory, in terms of memory, 8051 having small memory. PIC and AVR both are having large memory. Then architecture, 8051 is a complex instruction set computer, and both PIC microcontroller and AVR microcontroller are reduced instruction set computer. Then ADC, analog to digital converter. So here in 8051 there is no ADC conversion, analog to digital conversion, so not present. And here inbuilt ADC are there in PIC and AVR microcontroller. Then for timers, then there are timers in all microcontrollers, 8051, PIC and AVR. Then PWM channel, that is pulse width modulation. So in 8051 it is not present, but in PIC and AVR there is an inbuilt PWM, that is pulse width modulation channels. So these are the comparison of three microcontrollers, that is 8051, PIC and AVR. Next, AVR are available in three categories. First is tiny AVR, that is less memory, small size, and suitable only for simple applications. And then the next one is second category is mega AVR, which is these are the most popular one, having good amount of memory, which is having up to 256 kilobyte, and a higher number of inbuilt peripherals, and suitable for moderate or complex application. Then the third category is X Mega AVR, which is used commercially for complex application which require large program memory and high speed. So these are the three categories. First is tiny, then next is mega, and then is X Mega, where tiny is used for simple application, mega is used for moderate or complex application, and X Mega is used for commercially used for complex applications. Then this is a comparison with pin, flash memory, and special features. So for tiny AVR, there are 6 to 32 pins having a flash memory of 0.5 to 8 kilobyte, and it is small in size. Then mega AVR, which is having 28 to 100 pins, 4 to 256 kilobyte flash memory, and extended peripherals. Then X Mega AVR, which is having 44 to 100 pins, and higher flash memory, which is 16 to 384 kilobyte, and which is having special features like direct memory access, DMA, and event system included, which is event system also included in X Mega AVR. This is a simplified view of AVR microcontroller, or we can say that it is a block diagram of AVR microcontroller. Here, see, this is a CPU bus, and there are memories, that is a RAM, E square PROM. Then this is the program memory here and program bus. Then there are interrupts, ports, input output pins, then other peripherals, and this is the oscillations, crystal oscillator. Okay, so this is a block diagram or simply simplified view of AVR microcontroller. Next, AVR microcontroller comes in different configurations. Some design using surface mounting, and some designs using hole mounting. So there are different configurations of AVR. It is available with 8 pins to 100 pins. Any microcontroller with 16 pins or over is surface mount only. So any microcontroller which is having more than 64 pins, so it is always surface mount configuration. And then how many types of configuration? So there is one Atmega 8 microcontroller, then Atmega 16 microcontroller, then 32 microcontroller, and then 3 to 8 microcontroller also, Atmega 3 to 8 microcontroller. So these are the configuration which depends upon the different designing. They can be a surface mounting or hole mounting. We will see at Atmega 16. So these are the features of Atmega 16 microcontroller. CPU, which is having 8-bit CPU, 8-bit AVR microcontroller. Then there are 40 pins in Atmega 16 microcontroller. Then operating voltage. So here again in Atmega 16 there is one Atmega 16 and there is one chip Atmega 16L. So for these two, operating voltage are different for these two microcontroller. First, for 16 it is plus 4.5 volt to 5.5 volt, and for 16L it is from 2.7 to 5.5 volt. Then there are how many numbers of input outputs? So there are 32 input output pins. Then for communication interface, there is one JTAG interface at pin number 24, 25, 26, 27. So this is what is a JTAG? So it is a joint test action group. This is nothing but a special interface added to the chip so that multiple devices can be connected. So for connecting multiple devices, this interface is needed. That is JTAG, joint test action group. So here at pin number 24, 25, 26, 27, it is connected to or interface to JTAG. Then for serial communication, there is one SPI, that is a serial peripheral interface or serial interface. So pin number 5, 6, 7, 8 are used for serial communication. Then there are programmable serial USART, that is universal synchronous receiver and transmitter. So pin number 14 and 15 are used for serial communication. Then there is one two-wire serial interface also, that is also called as TWI, that is two-wire interface, and this can be used to connect peripheral devices like sensors and servometers. So there are two pins, 22 and 23, which is used for this purpose, two-wire serial interface. Then there is ADC channel also, ADC module. It is having inbuilt ADC. So there are 8 channels and 10-bit resolution analog to digital converter. Then timer, there are 2 8-bit counter and 1 16-bit counter. So there are total number of timers are 3. Then one analog comparator. One analog comparator is there. Then there is no digital to analog converter module, so it is nil. Then for PWM, there are 4 channels, pulse width modulation. Then external oscillator. Now again, for the external oscillator are different for this particular Atmega 16L and Atmega 16. So for Atmega 16L, it is from 0 to 8 megahertz, and for Atmega 16, it is from 0 to 16 megahertz. Then internal oscillators, 0 to 8 megahertz. Flash memory, there is one flash memory. Then for program memory, 16 kilobyte. Then RAM, 1 kilobyte RAM memory, and 5 to 1, that 512 bytes E square PROM. Then there is one watchdog timer. So what is watchdog timer? So it is used to monitor microcontroller program to see if they are stopped or operating or out of the control. So this is a watchdog timer just to watch the program if it is stopped or it is out of control. Then there are six power saving modes. One see here six modes. One is first is IDLE, then ADC noise reduction, power save, power down, standby, and extended standby. So these are the power saving modes. Then operating temperature. So what is the operating temperature? It is from minus 55 degrees centigrade Celsius to 1 plus 125 Celsius. This is a pin diagram. So here you can see the pin diagram here. Port PA0, this is nothing but port A, which is having from 0 to 7, that is means 8-bit port. So port A, then PB0, this is port B, PB0 to PB7, then PC0 to C7, this is a port C, and this is a port D. So there are total 4 ports. This is port A, having from 40 pins to 33. Then PB0 to PB7, this is port B, which is from 1 to 8. Then port D is from 14 to 21. One pin is there for port D. Then port C is start from 22 to 29. Then there are some extra another pins also there, VCC, ground, extra. We will see this pin configurations. So description of these pins. First is PB0 to PB7. So it is also port B, which is also used for input output, or there are some special functions, or we can say that alternate functions. So for PB0, first we'll see PB0. So it is also used for we can use it as input output, or we can use as a timer T0, that is timer 0 external counter input, or we can use it as a USART external clock input output. Then B1 is a pin 1 of port B, which is used for a timer 1 external counter input. Then PB0 internal analog comparator positive input, and also can be used for external interrupt to input. Then third number, pin number 3, then of pin 3 of port B. So it can be used as input output, or we can use it internal analog comparator negative input, or it can be used for timer 0 output compare match output, or also you can use for PWM output, that is pulse width modulation. Then 4 pin pin number 4 SS, it is used for serial communication. So serial peripheral interface slave select input. SS means slave select input, and this pin is low when the controller acts as a slave, which is used in serial peripheral interface programming. Then pin number 5 of port B, MOSI, that is master output slave input. When controller acts as a slave, the data received by this pin, and which is used in serial peripheral interface for programming. Then MISO, master input slave output. So here when the controller acts as a slave, then the data is sent to the master through this pin. Here it receives the data, and here it sends the data, and used in serial peripheral interface for programming. Then pin number 7 of port B is used as SCK, that is serial peripheral interface bus serial clock. This is a clock shared between this controller and other system for accurate data transfer. So just to share the clock between the controller and system. Next pin number 9 is reset, which is reset pin, active load reset. Then VCC, which should be connected to 5 volt. So this microcontroller works at 5 volt, so we should be connected to 5 volt. Then ground, it should be connected to ground, and XTN, that is connected to crystal oscillator. Then from 14, pin number 14, the port D is started, PD0. So this port D also can be used for input output purpose, and there are some special functions. So here D0 is used as RxD, that is serial communication programming, and this is a receiver. RxD means receiver, and for D1 is used for transmitting, that serial communication interface. So this is transmitting transmitter, and this is receiver. RxD is a receiver and TXD is transmitter for serial communication. Then D0 is external interrupt for timer 0, and D3 is external interrupt for timer 1. Then D4, timer output compare match output, or it can be used for PWM output. Then D5, timer output compare match output, or also used as a PWM output. Next, PD6, which is used for a timer or counter 1 input capture pin. Then here a timer or counter 2 output capture match compare match output, that is D7. Next, from PC0 to C1, these two pins are used for TWI, that is two-wire interface, mostly used for I2C communication. Then PC2, here PC2 to PC5 is, these 4 pins are used for JTAG interface, as I have said, that is joint test action group, which is a special interface added to chip so that multiple devices can connect it. And PC6 and 7, this is timer oscillator pin 1 and timer oscillator pin 2. Then there is one AVCC. Now when we used analog to digital converter, internal analog to digital converter, then this should be connected to VCC, and ground is connected to ground. Then A reference is analog reference pin for analog to digital converter. When we have to use analog to digital converter, then this pin should be connected, this analog reference pin. This is nothing but analog reference pin. Then port A, pin number 33, port A7, means pin 7 of port A. So this port A is used for analog to digital converter from channel 1 to 0 to 7. So here pin number 7 is used for channel 7. Then pin number 6 used for channel 6. Pin number 5 used for channel 5. Similarly, pin number 0 used as for analog to digital converter channel 0. So these are the pin description of ATmega 16. Next is a status register. So what is a status register? It contains information about the result of most recently executed arithmetic instructions. This information can be used for altering program flow in order to perform conditional operations. Note that the status register is updated after all ALU operations, that is arithmetic logic unit operations. So whatever operations are there, arithmetic or logical, after this the status register gets updated as specified in the instruction set. So here we will see instruction set of this microcontroller later. So next, this is the status register, which is having from 0 to 7. SREG, that is the status register. So this initial values 0, 0, 0, all initial values are 0, and this can be used as a read or write operator. Then first bit number 7 is I, T, H, S, V, N, Z, and the last bit is C. So we will see bit 7, that is I, global interrupts enable. The global interrupt enable bit must be set for interrupts to be enabled. The individual interrupts enable control is then performed in separate control register. So when the interrupt is there, a global interrupt is there, it should be one, and individual interrupt enable control is then performed in separate control register. If this particular global interrupt enable is cleared, okay, then none of the interrupts are enabled independent of individual interrupts enable setting. This I bit is cleared by hardware after interrupt has occurred. So it is cleared by hardware only when the interrupt has occurred, or it can be set by this instruction RETI. We will see this instruction set later. So this is the instruction RETI, so that it can be for use. This instruction is used to set this I bit. Again, this can be set by two different instruction, which is first set global interrupt. So it can be set by this particular instruction SEI, and clear global interrupt flag. This is a CLI. So it can be cleared by this instruction. So bit number 6 is T, which is bit copy storage. So the bit copy instruction BLD and BST, bit store, used the T bit as source or destination for the operated bit. So for operation of this particular instruction BLD and BST, T bit is, they used T bit as a source or destination. So a bit from a register in the register file can be copied into T by using this bit load bit store instruction, and bit in T can be copied into a bit in a register in the register file by this particular instruction BLD, that is bit load. So we can load from T to register in the register file, and we can copy that particular bit. Next, bit 5 is H, which is a half carry flag. So the half carry flag H indicates the half carry in some arithmetic operation. When we perform arithmetic operation, so when the carry generated in half, see, this is the suppose this is the register, okay, operations, and this is from 4 bits 0, 1, 2, 3. So, and these are the next 4 bits 0 to 7. Okay, so when the carry generated in first 4, or this half carry flag is generated. So it is mostly useful in BCD arithmetic, that is binary coded decimal arithmetic. Then bit number 4 is sign flag, which is always exclusive or between the negative flag and 2's complement overflow flag. So what is 2's complement overflow flag? So when the 2's complement overflow flag supports 2's complement arithmetics, then negative flag, it is the result when the result in arithmetic or logical operation, when the result is negative, this particular bit number 2 is high. So the negative flag indicates negative result in the arithmetic or logical operations. Then 0 when we perform arithmetic or logical operations, then when the result is 0, then this particular bit will be high. So the 0 flag indicates 0 result in arithmetic and logical operations. Bit number 0 carry flag, when the total carry is generated for the total operation, not only half operator, for full 7 bit operator, then when the carry is generated, this particular bit will be high, and which indicates there is a carry in arithmetic or logical operations. Next are the general purpose register. So first is status register, and this is a general purpose register. So the general purpose register, the AVR register file structure is optimized for the AVR enhance reduce instruction set computer instruction set. So in order to achieve the requirement performance and flexibility, the following input output schemes are supported by this register files: 1 bit output operand and 1 8-bit result input, then 2 8-bit output operands and 8-bit result input, then two 8-bit output operands, one 16-bit result input, one 16-bit output operand, and one 16-bit result input. So what is the general purpose register from R0 to R31? These are the general purpose register of ATmega 16. So general purpose means they can be used for general purpose. Next, and there is one X register, Y register, and Z register. So from register R26 to R31. Now we have seen from R0 to R31. This is a general purpose register. Then in addition to this, R26 and R31 having some special functions or some added functions. These are the 16-bit address pointer for indirect addressing of data space. So there are X register, Y register, Z register, which is having 16-bit. So 0 to 7 is for lower bit, and 0 to next 0 to 7, that means 8 to 15 is higher bit. So this is the X, Y, and Z from register R26 to R31. They are used as some special purpose. So the special is they point for indirect addressing of data space. Next, what are the memories? So in AVR architecture, there are two memories, data memory and program memory. Then in addition to this, ATmega 16 features an E2 PROM memory for data storage. So there is one E2 PROM memory also for data storage. So all these three memory, first is data memory, program memory, and E2 PROM. That is, this all three memories are linear and regular. Now, what is in-system programmable flash programmable memory? So here there is one flash memory also present in AVR. So in-system programmable flash program memory. So ATmega 16 contains 16 kilobyte on-chip in-system programmable flash memory for program storage. Since all AVR instructions are 16 or 32-bit wide, so the flash memory is organized in 8K into 16. For software security, the flash program memory space is divided into two sections: boot program section and application program section. So for software purpose, this flash program memory is divided into two parts. One is boot program and second is application program. Then the flash memory has an endurance of at least 10,000 write erase cycles. Then ATmega 16 program counter PC is 30-bit wide, thus addressing the 8K program memory location. So this is the program memory which is divided. I said that it is divided into two parts. One is application flash and second is boot flash. So this is the program memory having from 0000 to 1FFF address, and this is the data memory which is having registers file from 0 to 31. This is the general purpose register which is from R0 to R31 and having address from 000 to 001F. Then input output registers which is having addresses from 00200 to 005F. Then there is one internal SRAM. What is E2 PROM? So data electrically erasable programmable read-only memory is organized as a separate data space in which single byte can be read or written. So here EPROM is organized as a separate data, and here single byte can be read or write. Then access, which is access from CPU to E2 PROM, and which is done from the address register. And there are two register, data register and control register. That is E2 PROM data register and E2 PROM control register. Then they are endurance of at least 1 lakh write erase cycles. Then what is SRAM data memory? So this is the that data can be accessed through the standard data bus. There is a secondary input output bus for rapid direct access to select location. So we can directly access this is a temporary storage memory. Then data memory consists of registers, input output memory, extended input output memory, that is depends upon device. Then internal SRAM is register space contains 32 general purpose working 8-bit register from R0 to R31. Then input output memory, which contains addressable space for peripheral functions such as control register and other input output functions. Then extended input output memory, some AVR microcontrollers with some peripherals need more space than input output memory can address. So some of the SRAM is used as a extended input output memory to handle the extra peripherals, control register and other input output functions. So this is extended input output which is used for some microcontroller only where we need more space. So there is one SRAM used as an extended input output memory. Then internal SRAM, that is a data memory, is used for temporary storing intermediate results and variable within a software application. So this is a temporary storage memory. Which is having this is the data memory, which is having 32-bit register, 64 input output register, 160 external input output register, and extended memory, that is internal SRAM 2048 into 8. And these are the addresses of these registers. Then there are 5 different data bus, not input output, the addressing modes for the data memory. So there are 5 addressing mode. First is direct addressing mode. So the direct addressing reach the entire data space. Then next one is indirect. In register file, register R26 to R31 features the indirect addressing pointer register, as we have studied X register, Y register and Z register, which is feature the indirect addressing pointer register. Then indirect with displacement. So here the indirect with displacement mode reaches 63 addresses location from given given by the Y or Z register. Then indirect pre-decrement, this address register X, Y, Z and are decremented. Then indirect with post increment. So here the address of register X, Y and Z are incremented. So these are the 5 different modes: direct, indirect with displacement, indirect with pre-decrement and indirect with post increment. Next, what are the digital input output ports on AVR? So there are 8 this is the 8-bit microcontroller application through their input output pins. So this there are 32 total input output pins. These pins can monitor any voltage present at high impedance input and supply or sink current as a high or low voltage digital output. So they are monitoring the voltage present at that particular pins. These pins are usually organized in group of 8 and referred as a port. So there are 8 pins in a group which referred as one port. So here in AVR there are 4 ports: port A, port B, port C and port D, and the pins of port A, B, C are referred as PA0, PA0 to PA7. For port B, it will be PB0 to PB7, then port C, PC0 to PC7, and port D from PC0, PD0 to PD7. So these are the ports of AVR microcontroller, or we can say that Atmega 16 microcontroller. Then configuring the input output digital pins. So each port consists of 3 registers. Every port, port A, B, C, D, all these ports are consist of 3 registers. First is DDR, second is port, and third is pin. So here DDR stands for data direction register. Then port, pin output register, and pin is the pin input register. Then where X port name, X is represented by X is nothing but port name, that A, B, C, D. So if you want to work with port A, so instead of X you can write here, you have to write here A. That will be data direction register of port A. Okay, so next again port which is used as pin output, and pin is used in as pin input register. So this is the data direction. Here port B is used. So we have written DDR B7, B6, B5, B4, B3, B2, B1, B0, pin number 0 to 7. So they can be accessed, they can be read or write. So and all the reset from 0 0 0. The initial value is 0. So this is the port B data direction from 0 to 7. Then again for similar for port, so this is the port B data from 0 to 7. So it can be write as a PORT port capital B7 to B0. Then register bits DD XN bits are accessed as at the DDRX input output address. Then port XN bits are at the port input output address. Then pin bits are at pin input output address, where N is the pin number of that particular port. We will see one example. Port A pin set as input with pull up, enable, and then read data from port A. So we have to use port A as an input, and then we have to read that data from that particular port. So DDRA is equals to 0x00. Now this makes 00, this value hex value 0x00. That means all bits of that particular port. See, port A, which is having from 0 to 7. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this particular pin is 7. So here all are 0 0. So all zeros. That means this pin, which makes that port, all pins of that particular port as input. So here port A used as an input. When it is a 0 0, all pins are 0. That means it is act as an input. For output, you have to make this all pins 1. So here I will write 1 1 1. That means FF hex value 1111 binary number, and the hex value of this particular is F. And then here also 1111. That means F. So we have to write here 0xF for making that particular port as output port. So here to make this particular port, any port or pin, we have to write 0 value, and for making that particular port output, so you have to make it high. Then port A is equals to 0xFF. Now we have enabled this port as to read the data. So port A is equals to 0xFF. And this particular data is read that pin A. So read port A pins input variable data. Whatever the data is there in port A, we are reading that particular data by using pin register. Next, port A lower nibble set as output and higher nibble set as input. So how to write this? DDR A. DDR is data direction register for port A, which is for lower nibble as output. So this particular pin 0 to 4. These are used as output. So we have given this F, and this are used as input. So here it is given as 0. So 0F. So this is the data direction register. See, this is the D0 to D7. So this particular pins from 0 to 3. Okay, 0 to 3. Sorry, 0 to 3. These are high 1 1 1 1. That value is F, and this all are 0 0 0. That is 0. So we are making it lower nibble as output and higher nibble as input. Next, we will see, write one code example to write a C program to on and off port A continuously. We have to on and off the port A. That means just we have to high or low that particular port. So this is the hash include AVR input output header file. This is a standard AVR input output header file. So you have to write AVR oblique io.h. This is a standard input output header file. Next, for delay, this is a header file for used for delay. Hash include util delay.h. So this is a standard delay header file. Next, void main program will be started. Void main void, then DDR. We have to make this port A high and low. So port A act as here, port A act as a output port. So we have given this FF value. That means for making it output, we have to make all pins are high. So here the value hex value will be FF. Next, while one, we have see here we have to on and off this particular port continuously. So that's why we have used while one, that is infinite loop. Then we have to first we are first off this for making it off. That means pass the value 0 0. That means all will be low. So port A will be 0x00. Then for the next time after some delay, called delay. This is the delay function. Delay ms 500 millisecond. 500 millisecond. After 500 millisecond, just make this particular port high. Port A is equals to 0x ff. Then again call delay and end this while loop and end of the program. Okay. So again one more. This is the end of while loop and this is the end of main program. Okay. So here we are continuously on and off this particular port. So first we have to use make that particular port as input output for that is a data direction register is used, and to pass the value port register is used. Port A is equals to 0x00 and port A is equals to 0xff. So this will be in infinite loop. For continuous on and off, it will be in infinite loop, that is while one. Next example, write a C program to toggle port B 200 times continuously. Now we have to toggle this port B. So again first header file, then int main void. Main function is started. Then DDR, now port B act as an output. So DDR B is equals to 0xff. For output, we have to make all pins high. So the value of this hex value is ff. Then we have to see here we have to toggle this port B 200 times. So we need one for loop. We have to use one for loop. So for using this for loop, we are just initializing one unsigned character, that is x. Then here again we have to toggle this continuously. Therefore while one loop will be used, continuous or infinite loop. Then port B is equals to 0xAA, alternating high and low. See, first pin will be 0, then next one will be 1, then 0, then 1. So this will be A, then again 0, 1, 0 and 1. This will be A. So here we are passing the value 0xAA. Then we have to toggle this 200 times. Okay. So one for loop will be used from 0 0. Sorry, it should be 200. Okay. So here x is from 0 to less than 200. That means it will be from 0 to 199. Less than 200 means it will be 0 to 199, which is equals to 200, and x plus plus increment. Then port B will be in inverted port B. That means we have to toggle na. So here inversion of this is used. Not of this port B. That means when it is 0, it will be 1. Then if this particular pin is 1, then it will be 0. Then 1 0. So it will be toggle. Or you can pass here the value. This is nothing but 5. So you can again it will be 1 0 1 0. So it will be 5. So you can pass, instead of writing port B, not of port B, you can write 0x55 also. Okay, and then return 0. Now why we have here used return 0? Because we have here used int main. So int, that means when we used void, that will be no return value, that is null return value, and when we use int, there will be one return value, but here we are not returning any value, so we have to write here return 0, and then end of the while loop and end of the main loop. Okay, so this is the program to toggle port bit 200 times continuously. Then we will see another example, that is write a C program to send -4 to +4 values to port A. Now we have to send these values to port A. So these are the header file, then main program. Then now to send these values from -4 to +4, we need one array. Okay, so this is character num, this is my array, name of my array, and this is the syntax of array, and the values of this array will be -4 to +4. Next, now to call these values, we need for loop. So here we will use one variable unsigned character x for loop. Then we have to send at port A. So port A will be act as an output port. Therefore, data direction register will be high. So 0xFF. Then for x is equals to 0, x is less than 8 and x plus plus, means x is starting from 0 to 8, means these values are, there are 9 values. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So from 0 to 8, that means this 9 values, we are calling this 9 values for loop. Then port B will be num of x. This x0, first it will be x is a start from 0, so it will be x0 starting of for loop. Okay, next x0, so x0 will be -4, then it will be this particular -4 will be sent to port B. Then after that it will be incremented, x is incremented by 1, then it will become 1, then x at position, this is the first 0th position, first position, second position, this will be the 8th position. So x1 will be -3, then -2, and till the x value becomes 8. At 8th position, this will be 4, and then this all will be continuously, we are continuously sending this -4 to +4, and return 0, end of this for loop, and end of the main program. Okay, so here return 0, this means we have used here int. So if you don't want to use this return 0, you can use here void main. Okay, when we used void main, so we do not use this return 0 statement, or if we are using int main, then we have to return the value 0. Okay, so this is the we are sending the values to port A. Hope you have understood what is AVR microcontroller, then features of ATmega 16 microcontroller, pin diagram, pin configurations, then how to write the codes, what are the different registers, general purpose registers, and how to write a code, C code